Did you know that aimless clutter turns into hoarding? Aimless clutter. Who knew, right? When I was 18 years old, I moved away from home. And the first thing that I did when I moved away from home is I discovered the world of ice cream and French fries and potato chips and Cheetos and a whole bunch of things that we did not have growing up. I grew up on a farm, and one of the things that I discovered was the snacks that we ate at home consisted of apricots and apples and cucumbers from the garden and cherry tomatoes and things like that that don't add a lot of weight. So when I moved out on my own, I discovered sugar and salt, and it became a really big staple of my diet. And I knew it was bad for me, but I said, it's a Krispy Kreme donut. It's not going to hurt me one time. And I ate it, and lo and behold, it did not hurt me one time. Then I ate it again, and it did not hurt me a second time. And I ate some French fries, and they did not hurt me either. So see, I'm okay if I eat this stuff. What I did not pay attention to, though, is a small error in judgment built on top of a small error in judgment over a period of time creates something chaotic. I went home to visit my family after 6 months. And as I went home, I went from 125 pounds, which is about the perfect weight for my height. When I got home, I was 186 pounds in 6 months. And my family looked at me and they were like, whoa, what just happened? And I said, whoa, what do you mean? Well, I'd been looking at myself every day in the mirror as I was doing my hair and putting my makeup on and getting dressed. And they were slight changes, ever so slight, that I didn't actually notice that I was morphing into something completely different. So when I got home, my family was like, whoa, because they hadn't seen me in 6 months. And they were painfully aware that I had let myself go, if you will. So when I came back from that trip, I was kind of sad, and they'd hurt my feelings because they'd made comments about my weight. But what I realized was I have a choice. And because I'm aware, I have a choice. I don't want to spend the rest of my life yo-yo dieting and going up and down and up and down and up and down. So what I did was I created a boundary. I'm going to get back down to my perfect weight, which was 125 pounds. And I'm never going to go 10 pounds over or 10 pounds under that weight. So I still can have the donuts and the French fries and the ice cream and the things that I really enjoy. But if I start to get close to that 10-pound window, I've got to really rein it back in, and I've got to have some control and some boundaries. Now, the reason I tell you this is because if you drift aimlessly through life and you're not paying attention, it's like those errors on top of each other that just keep building until all of a sudden you're in a situation that's very hard to control. So when it comes to clutter, it's okay if you come into the house and you put your mail from the mailbox on your kitchen counter. That's okay, right? 1 time, it's not going to hurt you. 2 times, it's not going to hurt you. 3 times, it's not going to hurt you. But if you do that every day for 365 days, you're going to have this great big pile of mail that's spilling off the kitchen cupboards and counters. You're going to have bills that will go into late payments because we haven't addressed them yet. And it's going to have this weird domino effect of living aimlessly that created a whole bunch of different outcomes than the ones that we expected. And so like the diet that I went on where I said I'm never going to go 10 pounds above or 10 pounds below, what we need to do is do that with our stuff. So if I bring the mail in and I put it on the cupboard, it never goes there for longer than 2 days. 2 days might be that 10-pound window on either side so that we don't overextend ourselves by just keep piling stuff up. And we can put that 10-pound window on a bunch of different things. So if I go to the store and I buy something, I got to get rid of something so that I'm still in that same 10-pound window. And for me, with the weight, what that meant was it's okay if I eat this, but I need to burn off X amount of calories so I can stay in that weight. Or I'm going to have to say no to eating that because I didn't exercise and I need to stay inside that weight, right? Well, the cool part of it is this. About 30 years have passed, and I've stayed in that same 10-pound window. And there are times when life gets really complicated and I either don't eat or I overeat or whatever. But as long as I'm in that 10-pound window, I feel like I have control, right? So I want for us to look at our lives the same way. If we just drift aimlessly through our clutter, it's those small errors in judgment repeated over time that stack on top of each other that end up creating hoarding and clutter in our house that becomes so overwhelming, it doesn't feel like we're ever going to get rid of it, right? So I want us to stop for just a second and say, what is my 10-pound window in the bathroom vanity? When I have so much stuff, at what point is my 10-pound window? So I can have these 3 items on here, but I can't have 20, right? There's got to be a limit. And we start putting limits on the things that we have. How much stuff can be in the car? How much stuff can be in the bedroom? How much stuff can be on the bed? How much stuff can be in the closet? And we have to start creating those boundaries, because once we have those boundaries, then as we start getting close to our limit, we got to remove something. We've got to get rid of something. We've got to donate something. And so it's going to be in a constant state of being aware. And that's the key. The key is to be aware. It's not to not have stuff. I want you to have stuff. I want you to have stuff that's useful to you. But I don't want you to get in a place where you're just drifting aimlessly and you're just eating all this cool, fun stuff or buying all this cool, fun stuff because in your head it makes you feel happy, which the food made me super happy, right? It also made me feel lethargic and it made me gain weight. And there were a whole bunch of other side effects that came along with that as kind of an after effect of the joy that I got when I ate it. But the thing that I discovered was if I eat a whole lot less of that stuff, I can still enjoy it and have fun, but it's with moderation. So with moderation, I want us to stop just randomly going aimlessly through life. I want us to have some boundaries and some limits so that as we move through our stuff, we can create a new relationship to our stuff that will then serve the longevity of our home and our health and our happiness and our family life so that everything runs smoothly, just like you would if you were in your limit of your perfect weight. All right, I hope that helps a little bit, just food for thought. Do leave your questions and comments in the notes below. We have a group called HoardingWorld. I'm going to invite you to come over and join us. It's on Facebook, and we answer your questions, and we're there to support you and encourage you in your journey as you change your relationship with stuff. I'm Angela Brown, and until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.